Hello, my name is Darek and I'm support hero here at LiveChat. I will be hosting today's live webinar called Data Speaks for Itself. Here's everything you need to know about reports, but we're afraid to ask. Similarly to the last live webinar I have hosted for you, it doesn't matter if you are just taking your first steps at LiveChat or if you are a veteran here. It's always good to review what you know about our app. And here's the agenda for today. I have divided our webinar into 6 main sections, and the last Q&A panel will be the 7th point. You probably noticed that the agenda is divided into the section available in the reports. So we will start with the chats reports overview, the basic stats about the chats you get in live chat. Then we will move to the agents reports, key features for the business and the enterprise plan. Then I will cover customer reports, what you can find there and learn about the queue. Then we will cover the tickets reports, which are best used for when your agents are not available to chat. Then I will talk briefly about e-commerce reports, so how to make the most out of your shop in live chat. And the most power tool available in live chat, the raw data report, which is advanced reporting for you or your data analysts. And we will wrap it up with Q&A session. Right, without further ado, let's dive into the app. I hope you have your apps open as well, so you can click through with me. Let's head over to the reports section right here. And first things first, you often ask what time zone is used to generate the reports in app. So it's from our support perspective, it's a pretty common question that you ask us. So it's always the time zone set on your device. In most cases, it will be your local time. But a quick tip from me, if you have colleagues working in a different time zone and you want to check how the stats would look like on their end, simply change the time zone in the device's settings. For example, in my device right here and here. And I could change the time zone, for example, to, let's say, I have colleague working in Washington, DC, confirm, refresh the app, and the app will adjust the reports accordingly to the time zone set on the device. So just a quick useful tip for when you want to check the data here. First, notice that we offer a brief summary for the last 7 days. This is just a quick overview of the data if you are on the rush and you don't want to dive into the reports. But if you are looking for more detailed data, we will cover this in a moment. Also, there is a dashboard available here. You can open it, for example, and broadcast it onto your TV. Let's check how it looks like. So it's divided into 2 sections: real-time data provided from the tracking code on your website. So it will change in real time. And last 7 days summary, just a couple of metrics here if you're in a hurry, and you can use it as the standalone dashboard that aggregates most important data. Back in the day when we were not at home office, we had dashboards around our support area so that anyone could see and check the data clearly anytime. With that said, let's check what reports are available in the app. Straight off, the most crucial metrics, total chats. The name is pretty straightforward. It's used to determine the number of chats on your live chat license. By default, we will display the last 7 days right here, but you can quickly filter out a different date range by clicking the filter and selecting one of the options. So here are some predefined options, but you can also select your custom period like so. Click here. You can move through months here or through various years here. So let's check my stats from January, not this year, I'm sorry. Let's go to 2021. Confirm, and you have an overview of total chats for the selected period. Other filters that are available here are agents. Great if you want to select only a couple of them or you want to check a specific agent. And similarly with groups, you can filter out specific group in live chat. You can also compare one group to another. Like so. Now there is also one filter available here, which is called tags. It relies heavily on whether your agents use the tagging feature, and that way you can segment the data here. For example, let's say my agents use the complaint tag. If I click it, it will show me the chats that were tagged with the selected tag, in this case, complaint. You can also click any field here, for example, this one, like so, and it will load the specific chats for that period. All right, let's go back here. Last filter available here is the assignment. This one checks the number of chats which were unassigned or assigned. And quick reminder from our previous webinar, where we learned the basics of the tool, an unassigned chat is the one that arrives in your app if no agents are available. So for example, you are integrating with Messenger, Facebook Messenger, or you are using our messaging mode. In case the agents are unavailable and the new chat arrives, it arrives as unassigned and the agents can assign them to reply. Want to learn more about how it works? You can always start the chat with us here and connect with one of our support heroes. We are available 24/7, so just in case, you know where to find us. Also worth noting, while we are here, some of the reports offer the benchmark. You will find it right here. It's available in the business plan and the enterprise of live chat. So you can, by selecting it, you can compare your stats to industry's average stats. For example, in my case, my business is consulting. I'm from Poland, 1 to 9 employees and B2B. And by selecting this filter, here are the average stats for the industry. So way higher than my own. And we can see that on the 13th and 14th, the industry has had quite a few chats here. And a tip from me, you can always change the industry filter available in the benchmark. Click your profile pic here. Then select company details. You can mix and match the data available here and update the benchmark. So let's say I want to check accounting, 10 to 49, United States. Save changes. And the filters update. So it's just a quick tip from me if you are curious about other industries' average data. Also notice that here you have a total chats breakdown. So each day is broken down into separate sections, so you can quickly check it without having to hover around here. And a bit lower, there is chat heat map for the last 7 days. This will always show only the last 7 days. So while you could filter for a specific period here, the heat map shows only last 7 days. And using it, you can check what time of day had the most chats for the given period. So for example, here I can check that on February 15th at 9 a.m. I had around 4 chats here and 3 chats at 10 a.m. And if you use this tool and see a recurring pattern, maybe it would be a great idea to predict when there is higher influx of chats on your license, and most likely hire more agents for a given period. Now, notice the export CSV right here. You can use it to generate a simple file. Thank you, Maciej. And let's check how it looks like. So if you don't want to create your own chart or table, quickly generate one from the app, download it, and you are good to go. All right. Let's head over to chat engagement report. Quick overview here. The report will provide you with the data on how the chats have been started. And there are three main sources from targeted messages. So it refers to a situation where the customers were browsing your website and they were invited by the automated greeting message. And then they decided to start the chat with you. So here, a free chat started from such an invitation, automatic invitation, started by customer. This is the number of chats in which the customer clicked the widget on your website, started the chat, and they were not automatically invited. So this was more of their decision to start the chat without being invited. And free chats were started by an agent, and this is a situation in which your agents go to the traffic and they start the chat manually with customers browsing the website. Again, filters apply here. So if you want to narrow down the results, you can use agent to narrow down to specific agent or compare one to another group. Or again, use tags if your agents are tagging chats, and then you can segment which chats came from which source. Now, missed chats. This one is quite interesting. It's one of the latest reports that we have released. Here, the app tracks the number of chats in which there is no agent's message sent at all, excluding the first automatic welcoming message when the chat is started. Let's check how it looks on an example. Here, once I load the archives, let's say right here. So if there is a chat in which there is no agent's message, so right here, there is only the first automatic message sent, but then the agent did not send anything, this will be treated as missed chat. Similarly here, the customer has just started the chat and closed it. This is quite normal. Sometimes the customers will be just curious of how the widget works on your website, and they will just click the chat, start the chat to see what it does, and they might close it immediately, leaving no chance for the agent to reply. So technically, it will be counted as a missed chat because the app does not see any message sent by the agent. Right. But if you see quite a few missed chats here, maybe it will be worth to checking if everything is all right, if every settings are properly set. If you are not sure about it, you can chat with us and we will help you find the best solution here. All right, time for the greeting conversion. So previously in the chat engagement report, I mentioned that some of the chats can be started from targeted automatic invitations. And the conversion report focuses exactly on how well those automatic messages convert to chats. So you will see the breakdown of all such messages in each group, plus an info on how many times each one was displayed. So in my case, for the selected period, there were 9 greetings triggered, and 3 resulted in chat being started from such an automatic invitation. Now, worth noting, the greeting messages are used only if agents are accepting chats. So as long as you have set those messages and there are agents accepting chats, the targeted messages will be triggered. If the agents are unavailable, they are not accepting chats, then targeted messages will not be used. All right, you can compare up to 4 greetings here to have it displayed right here. So welcome your customer displayed 7 times, and 2 chats started. Welcome returning customers displayed twice, and 1 chat started from this targeted message. Now here is the conversion. So it breaks down displayed versus chats ratio. And if you feel like you need to fine tune the targeted messages, you can click the edit button here. This will load the section where you can edit the messages themselves. For example, let's try to make it appear even quicker to see if 1 second will change. For example, next week you can check if the conversion has increased or decreased, and then test and mix to find your best greeting out there. Tags usage. You most likely have noticed that I have mentioned quite a few times that tags are very vital for your reports. So if your agents are tagging the chats, then you will be able to narrow down the results, to segment the reports based on the tags used. And tag usage shows exactly that. It will show you the number of tagged chats and not tagged chats. And if you scroll down here, you'll find the breakdown of how many times each tag was used. So for example, my sales was used 3 times, complaint was used 3 times as well, and this will show you the percentage of tagged chats. Now, if you notice there is a high number of not tagged chats, you can click right here, and this will show you all of the archived chats which were not tagged by your agents. So make sure to let them know that it would be best if they tagged the chats, because then the reports give you more data, more opportunity to filter down, to sieve out the data you need. And of course, filters are available here as well. So you can check particular agent group or specific tag. Chat satisfaction, let's move to this one. This one will display the number of good and bad rates. Let's disable the benchmark. So the chat can be rated either while it is ongoing, or it can be rated in the post-chat survey. So worth noting that one rating from any chat is shared across all agents who chatted with the customer. So for example, here I have 6 good rates for that period and 2 bad rates for the same period. But if I scroll down, the total is 8. But if I scroll down, notice that if I add those numbers, they will not match. This is because the chat can be transferred between the agents, and technically for a total number of rates, this is still one rating. But if I were to divide it per each agent, the rating will be assigned separately per each agent. So don't worry if you see discrepancy here, that the numbers don't match. This is pretty normal. It always means that the chat has been transferred across one agent, multiple agents. And again, you can click here to load the archives. And if you see any chats that have been rated as bad, it's always a great idea to create the ticket, maybe follow up with the customer, check if there is anything else you can help here to support the customer and resolve any issues they might have. All right. And of course, benchmark if you want to compare, and filters like in the previous reports. Now, quite an interesting one is chat availability. All right. You can use this report to check how long during the day the widget was available for the customers to start the chat. The widget's availability is based on the agent's status of accepting and not accepting chats. The longer the agents are accepting chats, the higher the value would be here, to a maximum of 24 hours. So let's select 15th. All right, and let's take a look how it looks like here. So for the whole day, my chat was available for 6 hours, 33 minutes. And here you can see that the agents were accepting chats for a total of 1 hour here, 1 hour here, 1 hour here, and 55 minutes here, and about 47 minutes here. So the longer they are accepting chats throughout the day, the longer the chat availability. Here at live chat, we aim for 24/7. So if you were to see our report, this will be straight line here, and the chat availability will be 24 hours. Okay. All right. This one is also great if you do not have access to the agent activity from the business plan, as you could use it to filter out and check how long the specific agents were, how long they were accepting chats for any specific day. So let's say I want to check sales expert, and this agent was accepting chats only for 34 minutes. All right. Now let's go to chat service. Last from the chat category. This one is usable if you utilize service such as pre and post chat service, and you can ask closed questions there, such as multiple choice list, drop down, any question that is closed one, not the opportunity for the customer to leave an open answer. And you will find the number of given answers, and you can click any answer to load the chats in the archives. So in my pre-chat survey, I ask my customers, do you like dogs? And here I have 3 answers. I can click either of them. Let's say, definitely I want to check those chats. And here are they listed in the archives. You can check the post-chat survey here. So if you are asking any questions related to whether the customer has, was it the first time you have chatted with us, or was the case resolved? You can see that 2 customers told me that the case was not resolved during the chat. So again, you can click here, check those chats, review them, and you can decide to create the ticket, follow up with the customer. If you are not sure how to do so, check out our first webinar where I have covered ticketing, or chat with our support heroes. All right. First, let's go to the agents reports. So those are available by default in the enterprise and the business plan of live chat. But worry not, if you are on the team plan, you can purchase any of them separately in our marketplace. So head over here, type in the reports, and they will be listed here. So we can just purchase them separately. The price per each is $7 per agent each month. So it will include all of the users on your live chat, all of the reps, and all of them have 7 days free trial, so you can test if they match your needs. All right, so let's take a look at them. First, agent performance. It's a report packed with quite a few metrics, which give you a broad overview of how well your agents perform. Note, this chart is scrollable, so don't miss any data here. So it's jam-packed with all of the necessary data regarding your agents, like total chats, percent of all chats. Here I'm comparing to the previous period. Let's skip it and just focus on one period. Satisfaction, chat satisfaction for the given agent, first response time, quite good for this agent. This one should work on being faster in first response. How long the agent was accepting chats, how long they were not accepting, how long they have been logged into the app, and the efficiency, which is total number of chats divided per hour. And we are checking only the time the agent was accepting chats. All right. And the average overview data here, and total chats for the given period. So again, we can filter out and check the data here. Notice the first response time has increased dramatically, not the value you want to aim for. All right, chat duration. Pretty easy. This one will list the average time it took for each chat to finish. And a tip, again, if your agents are tagging the chats, great tool if you, for example, want to check how long it took for a specific category of chats to end. Say, in my case, let's use the complaint tag. And you will notice that the average duration of chat which was tagged as complaint took 25 minutes. That way you can check specific category, whether they take longer or shorter to handle for your agents, and an average breakdown for those days that you have selected. Again, you can compare your data to industry's average. and filter out if needed. Chat response times. Here we focus on the average time it took your agents to respond to the first message the customer sent in chat. And the second metric shows the average response time of all the messages sent by the agent. And as you can see, my first response time is nearly 2 minutes. Again, not the value you want to aim for. Tip from our support heroes, it's best to aim for around 30 seconds, first response time, or less, even better. As for the average, this one is business-specific value, so the average might differ based on your support's workflow. Maybe you are using scripts, so you expect your agents to be much faster in responding to chats. Here at live chat, our cases can be quite specific and can take a bit longer if we are to contact various teams. So again, this value might differ based on your specific workflow. Staffing prediction. Now, this one will help you calculate the number of agents you need for the upcoming days to cover all of the chats and suggest the optimal here. For example, in my case, the app suggests one agent would be needed in total for the peak. How it's calculated? The algorithm will check the concurrent chat limit of your agents. So for example, in my case, the agents concurrent chat limit is 6 and 6. So quite high for the flow of chats I had, which was not that high. And based on that, the app will suggest the number of agents. For it to take effect, minimum of 4 weeks of data is needed here for the report. And it's also worth noting that the report does not check administrators and owners. It focuses only on the agents, but no worries. Here in my case, I do not have any agents. There are only admins and owners. So in this case, the app will ignore the fact that it usually takes agents into account and will use admins just fine. So don't worry if you do not have any regular agents, the report will work just fine. But if you are using the agents on your license, then the report will just take them into effect. And this brings us to the last report from this category, agent activity. If you are keen to know what your agent's activity looks like, for example, for yesterday, this one is perfect for you. It will show you when the agents are logged into the app, when they are accepting, not accepting chats. So like in my example, any gray areas are the time when the agent was offline, so not logged into the app. Green areas will show you when the agent was accepting chats. And red, this one will show you when the agents were not accepting chats. If you notice that their activity is divided by quite a few red marks, maybe it's worth checking if everything is okay with their app. Sometimes they can use auto away feature, which can automatically switch them to not accepting chats in case they are not active on their devices. If you are not sure how to check it, start the chat with our support agents and we will walk you through that option. All right, so those 5 reports we have just covered are available in the business and the enterprise exclusively. But again, if you want to purchase them separately, you can do so in the marketplace. There is one extra report for the highest plan, export raw data. It cannot be purchased separately, and it's the most powerful one. I will cover it a bit later. All right. With that said, let's head over to a couple more reports that are available in the team plan as well. So here we have customers report. Only 2 reports here, and as you notice, they focus on queue and how customers entered the queue. First, queued customers will display the total number of those customers who have been waiting in the queue. So in my case, 20 customers have been waiting in the queue. How many of them actually entered the chat So of those 20, 15 entered the chat. So they could be either picked by an agent or waiting until one of the ongoing chats have finished, and the number of those who have left the queue. So 25% decided they are not going to wait in the queue and left. Scroll down a bit lower here to find the average waiting time. One will show the average to enter the chat. So nearly a minute and a half for the customer to enter the chat from the queue, and average time to leave the queue. So approximately 1 minute for the customer to leave the queue. And scroll a bit lower. Here is the last 7 days heat map. Again, you can hover your mouse to find the number per specific date and time. So as you can see, on February 15th at 10 a.m., I had 4 customers queued. And if you notice any pattern here, again, this one is perfect to check if there is any pattern in how the customers enter the queue. If you see any recurring pattern, maybe it's a great idea to hire more agents to answer the chats so that the customers do not have to wait in the queue. Queue abandonment. Now, apart from showing you the total number of visitors who have left the queue, so in my case, 5 visitors left the queue, it will list those who have filled in the pre-chat survey, providing their contact details, for example. In my case, one customer provided name and email, so I could follow up with the customer, and the rest only provided their names. So there's not much I can do here. To prevent such a situation from happening, head over to Settings, Chat Service and Forms, Pre-chat survey, mark those fields as required. Make sure you always collect an email if you want to follow up with the customer. And the business plan here allows you to quickly send a follow-up. So if you are on higher plans, business and enterprise, simply click here. And you can create a quick ticket. Here's a predefined message. You can alter it to your needs. You can check the customer details if needed. Send a message, and it will create the ticket, immediately send it to the customer. Now, if you are on the team plan, it doesn't mean that you can't follow up with the customer, but there are some extra steps here. So you would need to copy the email, head over to tickets, and create the ticket manually. So the business plan cuts you a couple of steps here. All right. And always try to follow up with the customers so as to not miss any opportunities. All right, speaking of the tickets, it's high time we looked into the reports available for that function. They are fairly similar to those from the chat section, so I will cover them very briefly. The new tickets reports, fairly similar to new chats. Use this report if you want to check the total number of tickets and their source. So there are 4 possible sources here. As you can see, an email. So this would be the ticket that is forwarded from your support email. So using live chat, you can start forwarding all of your support emails that arrive at your inbox directly to the ticket section, so they can be handled in one app. If you are not sure how to forward such emails, as always, chat with our support heroes here, and they will walk you through this process and make sure that all of the emails arrive as tickets here. 2 tickets were created from the ticket form, so this is a situation where my agents are not accepting chats, and the chat widget switches to the ticket form, allowing them to leave an offline message. 5 tickets. This source is named chats. So those are the tickets created either from the archives. So let's say the one created here, or from an ongoing chat. I'm not sure if the customer has left the website, so I cannot start an ongoing chat to show you, but it will be the same as in the archives. Simply click the 3 dots here and create the ticket. And the last source, entered manually. So here you can check how many tickets were created manually in the ticket section. So this is the way I have shown you a bit earlier, created here in the tickets. Click the button, fill in the fields here, send, and the ticket will be sent to the customer. So if you're interested in the number of tickets that arrive via different sources, this is the perfect report for you. And again, a bit lower, you will find the breakdown per each day and a heat map, which of course you can use to predict the pattern here. Ticket satisfaction. During our last webinar, I mentioned that there is an automatic follow-up sent to the customer 24 hours after the ticket has been marked as solved. So here, as you can see, I have solved one ticket. There was a follow-up asking the customer how the customer would rate the experience with me, and it was rated as good. If you notice any rated as bad, it's always best to check those tickets, check if there is anything else you can do to support your customers. And if you are curious about the good rates as well, you can check them here. Now, this follow-up is completely optional. So if you do not want to have it sent, head over to settings, ticket settings, and you can disable this automatic follow-up here. Make sure to save the changes. And if you have tickets created in different groups, make sure to select that group in the drop-down menu, untick the option there, and save the change. That way, you will disable this automatic follow-up, and there will be no good rates or bad rates available from that period. Scroll down a bit lower and you will find top-rated agents for the selected time frame. In my case, only one agent with one good rate, but I'm sure you will find much more data on your end. This is just a test license, so I tried to simulate anything to show you here. Head over to first response time and you will find the amount of time it took for an agent to respond to the customer message via the ticket. But it's worth noting that only if the ticket was created either via forwarding from your support email, so the one I mentioned a bit earlier, or if it was created via the ticket form. So we will check those two sources and check how soon the agent has replied to your customer. And as you can see, it took my agent nearly an hour and a half to respond. Tip from us, if possible, try to keep this metric around or under 1 hour. But again, this might differ based on your team's individual workflow. So nothing is set in stone. Our general tip, below 1 hour is okay. Solved tickets. This one will show the total number of tickets that were solved in the given time frame, and the resolution time will show an average amount of time it took for an agent to resolve the ticket. Just briefly, both can be filtered. So if you want to check specific agent, specific group, or specific tags used for the ticket, feel free to do so. You can narrow down the results, find the perfect data for your own needs. And that's it. Pretty briefly, just over the tickets section, and let's head over to e-commerce. Now, this one will consist of two different reports, and those are usable only if you set up additional things in the app. So, for example, for the achieved goals to be tracked here, you would need to set up some goal. I will show you how I have done it on my end. I've clicked Settings, e-commerce, Goals. I have added new goal, and my goal, I have named it URL reached. And I am checking if visitor lands on a specific page of my website, which contains, and if I am looking for a specific phrase from my URL, for example, here I am checking if the customer has landed on a website or a page that contains Swift. But you could use it, for example, to check if customers are landing on pricing, checkout, thank you page. So this is a great tool if you want to check if your agents are reaching the goals during the chat. So once the customer reaches the page where you have set up the goal, it will be counted in the report here. Like in my case, 3 chats led to goals being achieved, and I can click it here to load the archives and check which chats those were. Notice this green shopping cart icon. It will be always available in the archives to show you the chats with achieved goals. So let's just unclick this any goal here. So as you can see, it's right here, here, and here. So if you want to quickly scroll through the list and check those chats, this icon is best used for it. Tracked sales. Now, unfortunately, I do not have any sales made because I don't own any shop, but you can use Sales Tracker to add additional script to your website. Probably the best option will be to use thank you page or a checkout, any page where the sale is finalized. And this will count if the chat has led to a sale. You can use it to track the value of the sale, but this report will only show the number of chats that led to a sale. Again, this one is quite complex. If you need help setting this one up, chat with our support heroes, as this process requires adding a separate script, assigning custom variable to the script, so it might require our help here. All right. And that leads us to a final reporting option, export raw data. Now this powerful tool aggregates the raw data in a single sheet. So names, emails, custom variables, survey answers, tags, and so on and so on. Everything is jam-packed into one single sheet for you or for your data analysts. I will show you in a moment how it looks, but first let's check the options available here. So you can decide to schedule such a report in one time only or in a recurring manner. If you select regularly, you can choose to have it sent daily, weekly, or monthly. But this time I want it only sent one time. You can select the data source, which can be chats or tickets, goals and sales, which I have just discussed, or queue abandonment. For my test, I will use chats. Date range, again, this can be one of those filters here, or custom period. So let's say I want data from December until February. File format, CSV is fine for me. And the email address the report should be sent to. Now, this doesn't have to be the report, the email address that is tied with the license. So it doesn't have to be an agent available here. It can be your analyst that is not added to the app. This will work just fine. You can send it to any outside email. Click send the report, and you will receive an email containing the link to download the report. Now I have gone ahead and downloaded it prior to starting our webinar. So let's see how it looks like. This will be this one. All right, so all right, let's take a look at the data available here. As I have mentioned, there's quite a few fields, quite a lot of data here. So you can use it to prepare your own customized reports or to find any specific data. All right, let's take a look at conference ID. This is the unique ID assigned per each chat. So if you want to check any specific chat, any chat that has drawn on your attention, select it, copy, head back to the app, to the archives, paste, and here it is. So you can check it quickly if you want in the app. Now, next two fields will be the start date for each chat. So this is chat creation date and chat start date. As you have probably noticed, they are virtually the same. Creation date, so this one is the older name that we have used in the past, but we decided to keep it in the sheet for backward compatibility in case some of you have built custom solutions or scripts based on that field's name in the past. So they are the same, but this one is just a grandfathered option. All right, chat start URL. Now this one is great. If you are looking for the data on which page of your website aggregates the most chats, that's the one. You often ask us, how can I check which page collects most of the chats, where the chats have been started on? Use this one, filter out the specific URLs you find here, and boom, you will find all of the necessary data available here. So every URL where the chat has been started, right here. Referrer, if you are keen to know the referrer URL passed by the website that the customer has landed on onto your website. So for example, it could be Google. So before landing on your website, the customer was browsing the search engine. And if the referrer is passed, it will be visible here. So you can check which website the customer was on prior to visiting yours. Chat duration in seconds and queue duration in seconds. So again, those are both in seconds available here. So you do not have to jump around various reports in the app, everything in one place. Visitor live chat ID. This is a unique ID, unique identifier, so to say, assigned per each visitor. So you can copy any of those IDs if you want to check specific chats made by those customers. So for example, let's copy this one. Head over to the archives, paste it here, and you have all of the chats that specific customer had with your support agents. The ID is stored in the browser's cookies. So as long as the customer has not cleared any cookies on their end and they have returned to your website and chatted again, they will have the same ID available. Visitor nick, this one is pulled from the pre-chat survey. So if you have the pre-chat survey enabled, you ask for those details, they will be listed here. If you need, it's always best to mark those fields as required. Same with visitor email. So it's always best to collect if you want to follow up with the customers. Visitor IP, this one is pretty straightforward. So this is the IP the customer is using. Now, what you can use this data for. We use the IP in the app to display the map, geolocalization map that you see in the ongoing chat. And you sometimes ask us if there is any chance to quickly check the location the customers were on. This would be the closest match, as you can run any online tool that checks the geolocalization based on the IP. And you can aggregate the data to check if there are any IPs recurring in your chats. Now, last operator ID, this will be the email ID of the agent who handled the chat last. So if you are curious which agent that was, this will be the one. Group. Now this is very, very unusual. Notice there are only zeros here, and here is 0 and 2. Now what that is a unique ID assigned per each group in live chat. So general is always ID 0. If you want to know which ID is assigned per each group, head over to the app, head over to agents, click groups, select any of the group, and the ID will be at the end of the URL. What can you do with that knowledge is that you can, for example, use custom script to load specific group based on ID, or you can use group ID in the integration with chatbot to let the bot know which ticket to create which group to create the ticket in. So if you are looking for the ID, it's right here. And it's available in the sheet to check here. Group name, of course. So as you can see here, there are two groups. So most likely the chat have been transferred between groups. You will also find rating. So if the chat has not been rated, it will be listed here. If there are any good rates or bad rates, you can also filter out in Excel, for example. Last rate comment. If the customer has left any comment, you will find it here. So in my case, there is only one comment, which is great. I hope the customer liked it. Now, there will be a couple of columns here. In my case, there are three: operator 1, nick, operator 2, and operator 3. The more transfers happened, the more you will see columns here available. So in this case, let's take a look at this chat. So Dariusz from live chat transferred the chat to sales expert, and then the chat has been transferred back to Dariusz from live chat. So if you are looking for chats in which there were more than one agent chatting, so sometimes you ask us, how can I find the chats where the customers have been transferred? This is the place to go to, use those fields, filter them out, and you will find the data for exactly that. The same is available here, but here we will show you the email IDs of those agents. So here are the nicks and their email IDs. Here are the time zones used by each of those agents. So in my case, all of those agents were in Europe also time zone. The data provided in the pre-chat, name and email, and the post-chat if you are asking for any answers here. So again, if you want to filter out the specific answer, find the chats where the customers provided any specific answers. This is the go-to place for you. Now, another two, auto invite URL and auto invite action. Auto invite URL will be the page on which targeted message was triggered. So in my case, the customers were invited on those specific pages by greeting messages, and auto invite action will show you which greeting it was. And again, this is great if you ask us, how can I check which pages produce the most automatic invitations? This is the place to go to. Here you can check exact specific pages that the greetings were triggered on. Goal action and goal done by. So like I mentioned a bit earlier, if you are using any goals and you want to check if customers have reached specific goal, in my case, if they have reached specific URL, you can check the chats and the goals that was reached. So URL reach in my case, which agent has handled the chat and led for the goal to be achieved, and the time when that goal was done. Next, there can be a couple more columns here, but tag 1, tag 2, tag 3, tag 4, and so on and so on, for as many tags as your agents have used to tag the chats. So if they have used five tags per specific chat, there will be multiple columns here. But in my case, there is only one tag per chat, so only one column. And again, if you want to narrow down the result for specific tags, this is the go-to place. And a couple more here, custom variables. Now, if your developers are utilizing our documentation and are assigning specific values, for example, from your system, from your CRM, to pass additional data to live chat, to have it displayed for the agents, it will be listed here. So this will be the value, custom variable name that was assigned, and the value that was assigned. Options here are nearly limitless. And if you are not sure how to assign those values, how to assign those variables, it's best to start the chat with us, because this one is quite complex. And the last three will be first response time, average response time, and agent chatting time, all in seconds value. So that's it. This is quite a powerful tool, best used to create your own custom reports, Send it to your data analyst. They will be delighted with what they can find here. And again, this one is available exclusively in the business and the enterprise plans of LiveChat. With that said, this brings us to the end of the reports that we offer in the app. I hope you found the knowledge I shared here useful and that you will utilize the reports daily to master your use of live chat. Now let's head over to our Q&A session. If there are any questions regarding the reports, do let me know, please, and I will do my best to answer them. Right, I don't think I see any questions, so I hope the knowledge you have found here was pretty clear. But again, if there is anything I can help you with, if you feel that there is anything extra that I need to cover, leave your comments and we will go back to them once the webinar has ended. I think that's all for today. Thank you for being with me, and until next time, have a good one and take care.